to hear me. Press unmute. Unmute your speaker. No, Good morning. Just give me a chat if you can't hear me. It told me to unmute my speaker, but looks like it should be on. And we're gonna start on our back. So just come to your mat. Obviously you have to put down a blanket, but you can get whatever you want. And I upgraded my blocks from those ugly green, well, those green blocks. Some prettier ones. And okay, so come to your back, just get comfortable. You can open up your palms to the ceiling. Just take a big breath into your belly. Just release, let everything go, everything sink down into the mat. You can bring your soles of your feet together if that feels better, like on your back. And just breathe, let that navel float up towards the ceiling. On the exhalation, just gently pulling it in towards the spine. Inhale, expand the belly. Exhale, release, melt, let everything go. Just letting go of your tasks and to-do lists. Everything that's been overloading your parasympathetic nervous system, just letting that, releasing that in the exhalation. Breathing, gently close your eyes, soften through the face. Let your tongue be loose in your mouth. And we're going to gently just transition into Ujjayi breathing. So go ahead and fill up that belly. We're expanding front to back and side to side. Filling up the chest, expanding. Exhale, empty the chest. Pull that navel in. Inhale. Fill up the belly, expand. All sides of the rib cage, all four sides. Fill up the lungs, feeling that chest expand, maybe feeling the skin across the chest stretch. And exhale from the crown of the head, from the chest. Pull that navel in very last. And start another round. Just allowing that breath to bring you into the moment. Breathing in calm, peace, and exhalation, just releasing everything else that we don't need right now. And just 2 more rounds of Ujjayi breaths. And challenging your belly and your lungs to fill up. And expand. And then just come to your last breath. And at the end of the breath, we're just going to just move back, transition back into normal deep belly breaths. Letting that navel just rise and fall. And once we're back into our normal breath, you can keep your eyes closed or gently open them. Soften your gaze to the ceiling. Soften through your face, and then we're going to press down through our shoulders and elbows and kind of expand, like let that skin across the chest just stretch. And release. Go ahead and rock your head or roll your head from side to side, soften through the neck. Just take your awareness to your neck, shoulders, Down your arms, biceps, triceps, elbows, forearms, hands, fingers, just checking in with every body part, making sure everything's feeling okay. Down your back, your hips, your hamstrings, quads, knees, calves, ankles, feet, toes. With your mind's eye, doing a quick body scan, it really just takes you and connects you with your body and your breath. So you just have an awareness of all your body parts and how they're feeling. And go ahead and bend the knees. We're gonna just bring those arms out to the sides, or you can bring them on your belly. We're gonna rock those knees from side to side. So just really gently and slowly, or at your own pace. And we're gonna soften through the low back. So pressing off that back foot, pressing here for a deeper stretch on this foot, or just softly rocking those knees, feeling that stretch, feeling that massage, the bottoms of the feet, the low back, the mid back. And let those knees just fall to the right. Bring those feet together. And those arms out, just taking a gentle spinal twist. You bring your hand onto your knee. Gaze, soften your gaze to the ceiling. Relax the jaw, tongue is still loose in the mouth. Breathing into the belly. Stay connected to the breath. And release. Gently bring those legs up. Just rock them a few more times. And then when they come to the left, just let them fall over to the left side. Taking that spinal twist to the opposite side, releasing, softening through the lower back, through the hips. And slowly come back to center. And then lengthen the legs, bring those ankles over to the right side of the mat. And we're going to move those shoulders over towards the right side of the mat and take our Bananasana, or just banana pose, crescent pose, like, ever decide what to call it. You can cross the ankles. You just want to expand to the left side of the body, opening, softening. And go ahead and release. So move everything back to center. We'll come over to the other side, through center to the other side. You cross the ankles, lift the ankles side by side. Reach up through the hands. Soften, creating space along this right side of the body. Let those ribs float apart. Just a few more easy breaths here, softening, opening through the right side of your body, creating space in the shoulder, the hip, the side of the body, side of the torso. And release, move everything back to center. Bend the knees, And then bring the knees towards the chest, and press those down and up, and just rock from side to side. Massage the back. Take those legs in a circle. Just one direction, opposite direction for that massage. The lower back of the body, if there's a spot you just kind of want to rock back and forth over that needs more attention, you can do that. Just giving the low back some love, some attention. Pull those knees up towards the chest, let them fall forward and fall apart, soften through that hip flexors, hip flexors. And then again, use those arms as oars, just letting those knees take their own circular paths. Just soften through the hip flexors. And pull those knees up to the chest. Let that left foot come down and attach down to the mat. Throw all four corners of the foot. You can even pull that heel a little closer to the hips if you need to. And pull that right knee down up towards the face. Inhale. Exhale. Just a little crunch here. Take that nose to the knee. And release. And go ahead and lengthen. Point and flex that foot a few times. You can just hold the sides of the leg, doesn't have to be straight, just kind of lengthening and then also pointing and flexing, which is technically called nerve flossing. So we're just kind of checking the mobility of the nerve that runs all the way from the waist down the legs, from the back down the legs. Make sure it doesn't get stuck anywhere. And then from here, we're going to pull that, flex the foot, pull that heel down. Then we're going to point, straighten, flex, pull in, point, straighten, and just do that 3 more times. And hold the sides or even the back of the leg. Just want that movement in there, that flowing movement. And then finally press up through that heel towards the ceiling with a slightly bent leg or a straight leg. You can grab the back of that hamstring. Breathe. Maybe press a little bit more. And then we'll just open that leg out to the side. And that foot flexed, just find that spot. It's available to you. Yoga strap if you feel like it's just letting that come down. Pressing through the ball of the foot, softening through that hamstring, keeping that left knee over that left hip, pointing up towards the ceiling. Soften, breathe into the belly. And then inhale up. Straighten that left leg and bring that leg across the body. Maybe just a few inches. Maybe we're coming way closer, much closer to the floor. And bring that right arm out to the side, just keeping that right shoulder attached to the mat. Pressing to that heel still, pull that stretch. The hamstring, the hip. Nothing should pull or hurt or be sharp. Just should feel good. The stretch should feel, always feel good, never painful. And you can always just come up a little bit to get a little more gently if it's kind of a little bit too intense. And release. Come back up. We're going to bend that left knee and go ahead and bring that right knee down. And then I'm going to bring that ankle to the knee. So press away, do a little figure 4. Press that right knee away from the body. Keep that right foot flexed. Soften to the outside of the right hip. Press that low back into the mat. So maybe just gently tucking that tailbone, but really pulling that navel in towards the spine. Kind of gives your spine a neutral position. So you definitely don't want to be pushing out. You want to pull in. And release. And grab the outside of this leg and just come into a half happy baby. So that could just be really gentle version here or modified. Or maybe you can grab the outside of that foot and bring that knee closer to the armpit, maybe all the way into the armpit, softening through that hip flexor. Open that foot to the ceiling. And take your awareness to your left hip that should be attached to the mat. This whole left leg should be active. Breathe into the belly. And then we're going to release and bring that knee up and then over. So you can even kind of rest that heel on the left knee. And this is a perineum stretch. So we're just getting those little muscles around the hip, kind of in the side there. I'm going to hold this for at least 30 seconds. Always just release a little bit if it's too intense of a stretch, or just continue to pull that knee towards that left shoulder. So adjusting as you need to for the intensity level. Breathe into tight areas. Release on the exhalation. And just a few more easy breaths here. Move the microphone closer to me. And release. Bring this right foot down and make this left foot, that right leg just fall out in a half Baddha Konasana. We're going to lengthen through that left leg. Take that tree pose on the floor. Pull that navel in still. Just make sure that low back is pressing into the mat. And then lengthen through the heel up through the fingertips. And release. We're going to bend both knees, bring them over to the side. Just roll onto the right side of your body. So we're going to bring that ear down to that upper arm. And go ahead and grab whatever, the shin, the ankle, the foot. We're going to soften through that quad. So pressing forward with that left hip. Stabilize your body with that right leg. And soften. Breathe. And gently release. We'll roll back. And go ahead and pull those knees down up. Softening through both hip creases. You can roll a few times. Side to side. And then release that right foot down. Connecting that right foot to the mat. Through all four corners of the foot. That right knee's point up to the ceiling. And pull down to the front of this left leg, front of the knee. Inhale, exhale, take a tiny crunch here. Nose comes up to the knee, engaging the core and release. And slowly straighten this leg. Not all the way straight. Up to you. Grab the sides or the back and just go ahead and point and flex. Flossing that nerve in the left leg. Just stretching through the calf muscle. And then go ahead and point and flex and pull that heel in. So it might be easier to grab just the sides of the thigh. Point and stretch, flex, come in, Just do that about 3 more times. Just getting that flowy motion. And then go ahead and lengthen. Press the heel. Softening. To the back of the leg. Press the low back into the mat still. Maybe pressing to that heel just a tiny bit more. And we're going to move that leg out to the side. So just holding it up with your hand, grab our yoga strap, lift it around the ball of the foot. And just let that leg fall out to the side. Soften through that hip flexor. Engage through that right leg. Through the right foot. Feel that foundation and attachment to the mat. Notice your breath if it's wandered away. We're watching that belly. With the mind's eyes, it moves up to the ceiling and lowers on the exhalation. And then inhale up. We're going to straighten that right leg and then bring that leg across. Soften to the hip flexor. Find your spot that is available to you where you get that stretch. It's not too intense. So anywhere from that foot up towards the ceiling or a few inches towards the right, or maybe your foot is almost touching the floor. Just let those shoulders stay connected to the mat. And release, come back up. And bend that right knee. And then bring that heel to the knee and press that left knee away. Gentle tuck of the tailbone. You're heavy through the rib cage. Soften through the hip. Keep that left foot flexed. And press away with the left knee. Bring your left hand to the knee. Kind of guide that away from the body. And release. Go ahead and grab the outside of this left shin, or the outside of the foot, coming to half happy baby. And taking that knee towards the armpit. Low back stays attached, right foot stays attached. Maybe take a half smile. We're supposed to smile and happy baby. And just one more easy breath here. And then we're going to bring that knee in. Take that heel, you take that heel to the right knee. And then we're going to bring that right knee over, or left knee over towards the right shoulder for perineum stretch. Just grabbing the front of the shin or right below the knee. And pull that across the body, feeling that stretch through that side of the hip, kind of towards the back. Breathe. Hold here for about 30 seconds, so just softening into that stretch. One more breath. And then bring that left foot Make that right foot, let that fall out in half Baddha Konasana. And then straighten through that right leg. I'm gonna press to that right heel and then reach up for a tree pose on the mat. Lengthening, softening through that left hip. And release. From here, we just roll on. Bring both those knees bent over to the side. We're just gonna roll on our left side. Bring that ear down to the arm. And reaching, grabbing the shin, ankle to foot. And soften through the front of that right leg. Press into the foot. Soften, lengthen. And release. And roll our back. And pull our knees up to the chest, cross those ankles. We're gonna roll just a few times. Rock, roll out the back, and then come up to a seated position. Just come across your legs and come. And rest the hands on the knees. Going to lengthen through the crown of the head, imaginary strings pulling out. Soften those hands down to the knees. Take a mudra. And lifting through the sternum, creating space in the vertebrae, and lift. Exhale, let the shoulders fall away from the ears. Just soften. Inhale again, lengthening. Exhale, bring that right ear down to that right shoulder. Reach those left fingertips into the air, onto the mat. Soften through that left side of the neck. Breathe. Belly button should be moving forward. Exhale, belly button moves towards the spine. And release, come up, inhale. Reach those arms up, wake them up, interlock the fingers, press up towards the ceiling. And we're just gonna drop that right hand down, lift up through that right elbow. Soften your gaze just past your nose. Make sure you're not holding tension in your face. Release, reach up, palms forward, and pull those elbows down for that stretch to the shoulders. Inhale up, and then drop that left hand, or lift with that left elbow. Soften the face. And release, shake out the arms. And roll the shoulders a few times, and then hands to the knees. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, left ear comes down to that left shoulder, and we're reaching out through that right fingertips. Soften from the tip of the shoulder up to the ear. Notice if you've been holding tension in your shoulders. Just release on the exhalation. And release. From here, and inhale up again. Wake up the arms, palms forward. And exhale, pull those elbows down to a goalpost. Maybe just a little bit further down. Feel that stretch. Almost make those shoulder blades try to kiss. Inhale up. Exhale one more time. Just palms down. Moving those shoulder blades towards one another. Inhale up. Brings the hands to the back of the head and just softly guide that. Let that weight of the hands guide the chin in towards the chest. We're lengthening, not cranking or pulling. Mindfully careful with the neck. Now, I always say that. Breathe, lengthen. We're still lifting through the sternum, breathing to the belly, and release. Bring the hands softly to the knees. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, close the eyes and just draw some circles in the air. The tip of the nose, some soft, easy, gentle neck rolls. Just awareness to every muscle as it softens and lengthens. You can pause at a spot if you think you just want to give it extra attention or time. Your mind's eye to your neck. Just awareness of where the muscle attaches to the body and to the neck, how it's holding up your neck throughout the day. And change directions. We're going counterclockwise with the tip of that nose, drawing a circle in the air. Soft through the face. And then awareness to the neck. Change directions. Taking that circle clockwise. Just a few more neck rolls in this direction. And change directions. Counterclockwise, just a few more. I could do this for a lot longer, but we'd be here for a while. We'd be here a lot longer than an hour. And slowly start to bring those circles smaller, smaller. Come to a neutral position. Inhale, just blink open the eyes. And we'll exhale and come forward, bring those hands right from the shins. Start softening, widening through the low back. You can walk those hands forward or just keep them in front of your shins. Find your spot where you are attached with your hips firmly into the mat or the blanket. And we feel that opening and softening through the low back. And lengthen through the back of the neck. Keep bringing that nose down towards the floor or the mat. Maybe spider crawl those fingers just a little bit further forward. And those hips feel heavy. Low back softens and widens. And walk those hands over to the right. Reach those left fingertips. Pull back with your mind's eye through your left hip. And keep that nose down towards the floor. We're still lengthening through the back of the neck. Walk those hands back to center. Just one gentle breath here. And walk hands over to the other side. Reach to the right fingertips. And walk those hands back to center. And maybe just come a little further. If you feel like that back is softening and opening, spider crawl those fingers a little further. And release. Walk those hands back in. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, right hand comes down. We're going to reach up and over. Let those hips float apart. Still firmly planted with both hips, especially the left into the mat. Come down or slide out. Just open up. Pull that thumb back. Open up that chest. Gaze up to the ceiling. Opening the chest. And gently dropping that left hand to that right knee. Slide that right hand back. Or lifting through the sternum and the crown. Exhale, take that gaze towards the back of the room on the mat. Inhale, we're creating space in between the vertebrae, lengthening. Exhale, pulling that navel in. Maybe taking that nose just a little further back. Inhale, lengthen one last time. Exhale, letting the shoulders drop away from the ears. Draw that navel in, maybe bring that nose just a little bit more, millimeter more into that stretch. And then we're going to release and slowly unwind. And we're going to bring that right arm across the body. Just massage that, if pop by the arm if you want, or just make that arm immediately into a hook and pull that in towards your chest. Feeling that stretch to the front and the back of the shoulder. And slide that elbow into that left elbow. Bring those elbows out in front of you. Wrap all the way around if you like. Pulling those elbows down, pulling the shoulders down away from the ears, but lifting to the sternum and the crown. And release, unwind. Inhale up those arms. Bring this left arm down, reach up, and then over. Just sliding out, find your spot. Maybe come down on your elbow. Just make sure that right hip is attached to the mat. Let those right leg ribs flow apart. Then we're pulling that thumb back, opening up to the ceiling. And release this right hand down. Slide this left hand back up, lifting and just taking that gaze towards the back of the room. Or maybe it's just coming out to the side or an angle. Just really whatever spot is available to you. We just want a gentle spinal twist at whichever level that you're comfortable with today. Inhale, lengthens, create space between the vertebrae. Exhale, soften the shoulders away from the ears. Draw that navel in, bring that nose just a little further back towards the back of the mat. And release and slowly unwind. We're going to bring that left arm across the body. Just massage that upper arm and then pull that in. Where's your breath? If it's wandered away, just bring it back. Those deep breaths into the belly. And then moving this elbow inside of the right elbow. Elbows out in front of your chest. Wrap those arms around as an option. And then pull those shoulders down, lift to the crown. Just moving that navel forward and then back with the inhale and exhalation. And unwind. We're going to come to a tabletop position. Just take your time getting there. Spread out those palms, bring those knees underneath the hip points. Feeling length from the tailbone up to the crown of the head. And then from here, drop the belly, pull those shoulders back. We're gazing forward. You can even open the jaw, soften, cow pose. And exhale, draw that navel in, tuck the tailbone. Chin comes in towards the chest, rounding for cat. Inhale back to cow. Exhale to cat. Round. Draw the navel towards the ceiling. And just, with your own breath at your own pace, take a few more rounds of that cat and cow. Just at your own level intensity. Just want a nice spinal stretch, but no discomfort. And come back to a neutral position. I'm going to walk those hands forward for puppy, so just keeping those hips over the knees and just press through the palms. And bring that forehead all the way down. Feel that stretch through the shoulders. Gently come up. We'll just thread the needle. Bring that right arm underneath that left arm. We're soften and melt that right shoulder down into the mat. So you've been holding any tension or doing a lot of desk work, then just letting go, letting everything melt, soften, release. And slowly bend that left arm and press up. And then just come to the other side, thread that needle, bring that left arm down, left shoulder down, let that melt into the mat and soften. Breathe into the belly, soften on the exhalation. Let all those muscles in the left shoulder just surrender into the mat. And bend that right arm and press up. And then from here we come to our tummy. So just gently coming down, bringing those hands or palms underneath the shoulders. Chin down to the mat. We're hugging those arms into the sides of the body. And you can leave your legs a little bit apart, pressing into the tops of the feet. Or you can bring those legs all the way together, zip those together. And we're going to engage everything from the waist down through the arms. And the inhalation, just gently lifting that chin up from the mat. Next inhalation, maybe peeling up that chest from the mat. If that feels okay, check in with your low back. Should be no discomfort. Maybe coming up a little further, we're pressing through those palms, we're tightening everything, and tightening everything is protecting our low back. And release, slide those hands together, right cheek comes down, bend those knees, and just rock those feet, window wash, shake out that low back, and then drop the legs, reaching forward from the Sphinx, so just taking your level of intensity, just modifying. You can have those arms long or work those elbows to underneath the shoulders. Just want to press everything, the hips down into the mat, engage everything still, protecting that low back. Gaze forward or even down at an angle if that feels better on your neck. Don't hold your breath, nice easy breaths. And release, bring those hands together, left cheek comes down on top of the hands, bend those knees, a window wash. And drop the legs. I'm going to bring this right arm out to the side. So kind of like this, but on the right side. We're going to roll over onto the right side of the body. You can bend the knees and bring that head down to the mat. Kind of prop yourself up with that left arm. And just an extra stretch on that shoulder. You have the option to bring this left foot in front of the right knee, back of the right knee. Kind of lengthen through the right leg. Maybe keep that bent. It's a little bit more intense. So just staying here. And then you can kind of press yourself into the intensity level that you want for the stretch. So you could just bring that left shoulder forward if you wanted a more gentle version. Just making sure that nothing hurts, nothing's uncomfortable. And release, roll over onto our tummy. And then go ahead and lengthen through that left arm, bring that left ear down, bend the knees, come to the left side of the body. And prop up with that right arm and staying here with the knees bent, pressing yourself to the level of intensity you like. We're straightening that left leg, bring that right foot planted behind that left knee. Breathe. Notice your breath, what it's doing. Roll back onto your tummy. Move those palms underneath the shoulders. I'm going to press up. And then from the tabletop position, we're going to bring that left leg out to the side. Do that at an angle. So we're pressing through the outside of the foot and into the top of the right foot. You can bring those arms forward and ease those hips back. You choose how deep you want to do the stretch. Really, just stay here. This is a pretty good stretch. You want a deeper stretch in that inner left leg, thigh area. Just kind of bring that forehead. You can come to like a downward facing dog in the top of the body. You ease those hips back just a little more, but strong through that right leg. So really attaching the top of that right foot into the mat, and that will kind of stabilize you. Pull that navel towards the spine. Soften and breathe into that left inner thigh. And then gently come up. And then from there, we're just going to bring those arms up and come right into a side angle pose. So we're still pressing into the top of that right foot. And reaching up. Strong. Press to the outside of the foot still. And then a nice angle, a nice long angle from the foot to the hand. And take that gaze up to the ceiling. Breathe. And we're engaging that core and we're lifting. And then reaching up through that right arm. Left arm comes down the left leg and we're just going to reach up and over. This could be a really small movement. Pull that navel towards the spine. Keep a neutral position in the spine. Then reaching over. And then release, come up. We're just going to switch sides. So come back through tabletop and then press to the outside of that right foot. So feeling that stretch to the right inner thigh. Let those hips ease back a little bit. Walk those hands a little forward and then just kind of choosing your level of intensity. Walking those maybe further forward, easing those hips back, forehead. Lengthen through the back of the neck. That forehead's coming down towards the mat. Breathe into the belly. Belly button's moving forward and back towards the, pulling that in towards the spine on the exhalation. Engaging your core. Help your stability. Maintaining nice breaths into the belly. And release. Gently come up and then come into side angle pose, just moving those arms around and then reaching up with that arm. And then we're going to go ahead and make a nice long angle from the outside of the right foot up through the fingertips. Gaze forward or up towards the ceiling. Got those fingers on the left hand spread out, protect the wrist. And then release, bring this right arm down. We're gonna engage and then lift, pulling that navel towards the spine. Find that neutral position. And then reach up through that left arm. Slide that right hand down. And then release. Come on both of the knees. And we're going to bring those hands out. Arms up, hands like to the hips. We're going to plug that thumb into that little spot above our hips. And then from there, moving those elbows towards the back of the room. So really engaging everything. Waist down, press into the tops of the feet. Gaze forward if you want. You can open that chest up, maybe gaze up at an angle, or closer to the ceiling, just really mindful of the low back. So really engaging those glutes, the hamstrings, everything, protecting the low back. Just for camel pose. And release. Come up. Move into the tabletop. And then I'm just gonna lift those knees together, lift those feet. I'm just gonna look over the left shoulder and then the right, and just transition back between those two sides, just 3 or 4 more times. And then bring those knees back under the hips. We're gonna inhale up and just bring this right foot forward. You can use blocks here. Pulling that right hip crease back, and then let those hips fall forward. Need some length here. Keeping that knee over the shin, over the knee, yes, over the shin, and then over the ankle. We're going to scooch that foot forward for deeper stretch, lengthening through the front of the left leg. And then lengthen through the back of the neck, just gaze down at an angle. Let those hips soften forward. And go ahead and straighten that front leg. And pull those, or slide those hands back. And bring those toes up to the ceiling. Got a nice longish spine, doesn't have to be stick straight. And then hinging at the hips, bring that nose down towards the shin. Draw that navel in, maybe that nose comes a little closer, and then keeping that left hip over that left knee for a runner stretch. And release. Gently come up. And we're just going to bring that right knee to meet that left knee and bring that left knee out in front. Just let those hips fall forward. Hands on either side of the foot, or always have the option to use blocks. And pull with that mind's eye, or even that thumb, pull that left hip crease back. Let those hips just fall forward. Pressing into the top of that right foot. Lengthen through the back of the neck, easing those shoulders away from the ears. Just make sure you're not scrunching them up. Down where you can, look forward. And then we're going to straighten that left leg, just making adjustments to come back into runner stretch. Keep the right hip over the right knee. Lengthen, exhale, hinge at the hips, maybe bring that nose closer to the shin, softening through the back of that left knee. And one more breath. And release. Going to gently come up, bring the left knee to meet the right knee. And then we'll come to, and just bring the hands over to the left and just side saddle on the right hip, slide, or flip over to your hips. We're gonna take a quick boat, grabbing the backs of the knees, engage the tummy, reach forward, or grab, stay here. And release those hands down and reaching forward as we slowly roll back. Just give your core a little challenge here. And then bring your head down. Once you're here, just getting comfortable for Shavasana, so just getting whatever you need to just be released out into the mat. You can make those legs long or bring the soles of the feet together. If that feels good, you guys take a pillow, put it under the hips or a block so the legs can just relax into something. Just an option. Sometimes it's easier on your low back. And once you're comfortable, take a big breath into the belly. Exhale, close the eyes and just sink and melt down into the mat. Let everything go. Let Big breath. Exhale. Release once more. Everything. Surrendering into the mat, letting every muscle surrender, soften, and relax. Follow the breath. Watching the breath as it enters and exits the body. Or soften the muscles in your face, your cheeks, your jaw. The tongue is loose in your mouth. Letting the shoulders melt on the next exhalation. And then down the arms, the biceps, triceps, forearms and hands all widen and soften. Down the back, all the muscles release. The hips melt, hamstrings and quads soften. Calf muscles release and widen. Ankles, the feet, the toes all feel heavy and soft and relaxed. Just continue to follow the breath. Just breathing in relaxation on the inhalation. And the exhalation, just releasing, softening, surrendering a tiny bit more to the mat. Slowly bring your awareness back to your body. You can always stay in Shavasana for a little longer if you like, and just bring yourself out when you're ready. Or start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, rock your head from side to side. Take one last big breath. Just release one more time into the mat. And then bend the knees. Gently roll to your right side. And then pressing yourself up to a seated position. Bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, slowly blink the eyes open. Namaste. Thank you everyone, as always, for joining me this morning. I hope you have a great weekend, and I hope to see you Monday. As always, if you have any requests for Monday or any questions or comments or anything, please be in touch. And I hope you enjoy the weather. And see you all soon.